Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, so today we are going to be talking about the rotation of the Earth. Okay? So we're doing ours on the objective to explain the cause of day and night based on the rotation of Earth on its axis. All right, so I want y'all to try to answer some of these questions. I know we haven't went over this yet, but I just want to go ahead and see what y'all already know before we start. So, does anyone know what is day and night? How would you define that?
Day is when the light is out and night is there's no light or anything or just dark.
That's perfect. Now, does anyone know, does the Earth rotate or does it stay exactly where it is all of the time?
I think it rotates.
Rotates.
That is also correct. Now, do y'all know anything about the Earth having an axis or anything about, do y'all know what an axis would be?
Would that be in the center of the Earth?
Yes, it would be. It would be in the center, but it's not actually there. It's just something. It's something we define as like an imaginary line. Okay, y'all did wonderful on those questions. Thank you for letting me know what y'all know. All right. All right, we are gonna watch a quick little video and have some questions on the side for y'all to think about while y'all are watching this. Now, remember to look carefully and to observe what is happening. All right, just by watching just a few seconds, what is happening in this video? Would y'all be able to take any guesses at what planet this is, or what do you think it's doing?
It looks like it's spinning.
It does. It is spinning. It's actually our planet. It's Earth. Does anybody know what perspective this would be from? Like, if you were looking at this, where would you be at? It's like, would you be on the Earth to see this? Or do you have to be way out in the universe, like near the moon, to be able to see this?
Probably have to be floating in space to be able to see
Yeah.
it like that.
That is true. Normally, we can't see the Earth do this. You can watch things change in the sky, but you're not actually going to get to see this, right? And this is our planet, as we already talked about. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So rotation. Brianna, how would you define rotation? Can you read the definition for me?
The definition is the action of rotating around an axis or center. So like rotation to me is spinning, it spins around. And I think of rotation as like centers. You know, you rotate from
That's
each
perfect.
center.
That is exactly what it is. And we defined it as the action of rotating around an axis or a center. So from the video, we found out that Earth is always spinning. It never stops. It always keeps going. And the spinning is called rotation, as we just talked about. And the Earth spins or rotates every 24 hours. So in one complete day, because there's 24 hours in a day, the Earth goes around and spins completely one time. All right. Now we're going to talk about an axis. Hope, could you define axis for me?
Sure. So the definition says it's an imaginary line about which a body rotates.
Would you have any idea what that means when it says a body? Like, if in context of what we're talking about with the planet and how it rotates, what would you think the body that we're talking about is?
I would say the body is the planet Earth.
That is exactly right. Now, as it says, it's an imaginary line. So it's not something that we actually can see. It's not something that physically exists. It's something that we've came up with to explain the tilt that Earth has. Now, this imaginary line goes through the middle of the Earth. It goes all the way from the top of the North Pole, as you can see in the picture, and it goes all the way through the bottom to the South Pole. And if you can tell, it's not completely straight, and it actually has a very specific tilt. It is 23.5 degrees. So it's like just this, but then you just tilt it. So the Earth doesn't actually stand up completely straight as everybody always thinks. It actually turns just a little bit, and that is due to the axis that is tilted 23.5 degrees. All right, so the whole point, we're trying to figure out, how does day and night happen? Now, when Earth rotates on its axis, this causes day and night. But it's kind of confusing, so we're going to watch a video and it's going to show you how exactly that happens.
Does the video have sound?
Oh, I am so sorry. Okay, let me try to fix this. Okay. Can you hear it now? You can?
What
Okay,
is
so sorry about that.
pattern of day and night? In space, the Earth moves in different ways. One way the Earth moves is by spinning on its axis. An axis is an imaginary line that runs through the Earth's center.
And you can see this is what we were just talking about. The Earth is not completely straight, and that there's that axis that is tilted 23.5 degrees.
This spinning movement on its axis is called a rotation. As it rotates, part of the Earth is facing the sun. This part of the Earth is lit up and experiences daytime.
As you just heard, so the part of the Earth that faces the sun at any given time, but remember, it's always rotating, so it's always changing, that part of the Earth is experiencing daytime because they have light, and during the day, we have daylight. But if you'll notice on the back, we can see that they're not getting any light right there. So you have day over here, and you have night over here.
At the same time, the opposite side of the Earth is facing away from the sun. This part of the Earth is in darkness and it is nighttime. It takes the Earth 24 hours to complete one rotation. The repeating rotation of the Earth is why we experience the daily pattern of day and night.
All right, so from that video we just learned, we could physically see how the Earth will rotate, and if you have the sun coming from one direction and you have the Earth from another, the sun is looking at one part. So whatever part of the Earth the sun can, imagine if you were the sun and you were looking at the Earth, the part that you can see would be day. You got to think that it's always turning around, so the part that's day is always going to be changing. It happens little by little, but eventually it's like when you see the sun move throughout the day. It starts in the morning, it's not that bright, the sun goes all the way up, and by the end of the night, it gets back dark, and then it's nighttime. Okay. All right, so as we just talked about, in the day, we're going to see sunlight, and at night, we're going to see darkness. So day occurs when the Earth is facing towards the sun, but night occurs when the Earth is facing away from the sun. And as the Earth continues to rotate, this constantly changes all over the world. So it could be daytime where you are, but if you were in like Germany or Russia or somewhere, it might be nighttime because it's not going to be the same it's not going to be exactly the same unless like you're in the same area. So different parts of the world, if they're opposites, are going to be experiencing the opposite, so either day or night. All right, so we're going to do a little day or night activity, and we're going to go through a few different scenarios, and it's going to be your job to decide if it's day or night. Now, while we're doing this, you're going to have to think about a few things. You're going to have to think, where's the sun and where's the earth in this scenario? You're going to have to think, is it day or night where there is sunlight? So wherever the sun is going, is that day or night? And we have to think about the perspective of the point that we're at, because you're going to see a little person, and that's where we're going to determine if it's day or night from that location. All right, and we're going to try an example, and I'm going to walk you through it. All right, so over here you see the sun, and we have our earth, and then we have this person. We're going to go by where their feet touch the earth based on if we're deciding between day or night. So based off of where this person is, are they facing the sun or are they facing away from the sun?
They're facing towards the sun.
That is exactly correct. So if you are facing the sun, or the sun is facing the part of the earth that that person's on, would it be daytime or nighttime?
Daytime?
That is absolutely correct. It's going to be day. All right, so I'm going to let y'all walk through this one. And if y'all need any help, I'll be here for you. We're just going to do these together. All right. So would anyone have any guess based off of where this person is? Now let's imagine that this is where the line went. So the line is crossing through here, and we're looking at where the person's feet are. So based off where they are, is it daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
That is perfectly correct. Because if you look at it, if you're looking where their feet are, they're on this half of the earth, and they're facing away from the sun. So it is night. All right. How about this one? Would you think it's daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
Why would you say that?
Because it looks like the person is on the other half of that imaginary line.
That is very true, because the sun would be facing about this portion of the earth, and that's where the sunlight would be going. And they're on the opposite of that. So that is completely correct. It is nighttime where that person is. All right, let's try another one. This one's not as tricky.
Daytime.
Exactly correct. Can one of y'all explain to me why it's daytime?
I would say it's daytime because the person's looking right at the sun.
Exactly. If you're looking at where the sun is and where the sun's going, its light is going to be facing about this portion of the earth. So that would mean that that person is in the area where the sunlight is shining, and sunlight would mean it's daytime. All right, let's try one last one. This one's a little tricky again. Brianna, could you answer this one?
Would it be night?
This one's tricky. It kind of just depends. We think about where the axis would be. And like if you were to cut the earth in half, it almost goes right towards it. So I would say that this one could be day or night. It just depends on how fast it is or where they're at. And this one, we would say that it's daytime because it's still kind of bright. They're getting some of the sunlight and it's still kind of going there. So we'll say this one's daytime, but that one's tricky. It's good that you saw that. All right. And what about this one?
Would that one be daytime?
Yes, that would be daytime. Why would it be daytime? Can you explain it for me?
Because it looks like the person is facing the sun again.
Exactly. They are in the portion where the sunlight is shining on the earth, so it is daytime. All right. Now, this is just one more scenario. If you're going to look out of these two windows, which one would you say is day and which one would you say is night?
The day is where like the sun is shining.
Right.
and the night is where it's completely dark.
That is absolutely correct because, again, the daytime, it is day when you can see the sun and the sunlight is shining on you, but nighttime is when it's dark and there's no sunlight. And in that case, you would be seeing the moon. So that's perfectly correct. All right, now we're going to do a little quiz. Go to this website that we have right here, and it's joinmyquiz.com, and then enter this code, and we're going to take a quick little quiz for us to see how much y'all have learned about this. Right? Let me know when y'all have gotten to that page.
What was the code again?
Yeah.
162830.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just put a thumbs up whenever y'all have completed the quiz, okay? Alrighty. Right, thank you so much. Congratulations. Hope you actually got first place. And thank you also, Brianna, for playing your part. Y'all both did wonderful. And thank you for being so open to answering all of my questions. Right? Do y'all have any more questions about anything that we talked about today? Anything about the rotation and how everything works with daytime and nighttime? All right, thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great day.